Welcome back to iGaming. Today we are looking at the Icarus Week 54 update. This one features something very interesting, something that is actually very cool and can change the dynamic of a mission completely, and it is dynamic dropships. So that basically is the ability to call in a dropship wherever you are on the map, rather than having to go back to your starting location. Decentralisation for this game is making some massive improvements, and I can't wait to see what the next year holds for Icarus. Let's jump in and see what the developers have to say. This week we are changing the limits on the number of players who can join and play sessions as a follow-on from our Decentralisation update, allowing you to share your Icarus journey with much more friends. We're also introducing the newest Tier 4 and Workshop item, the Dropship Beacon Grenade, which will allow you to call in a dropship wherever you are on the map at any time. Finally, we are making a massive range of fixes that have been required since the Decentralisation update, and introducing our preferred partners for dedicated servers. Now, if you don't know, last week Icarus went decentralized. So basically what that means is the majority of the data is now stored on your computer rather than on their servers. So you can play it offline, and it is much easier to play with friends. If their servers go down, there's no issue there, you can continue to play, and it also allows us to swap seamlessly between different drops. So you can have your character in open world, and then straight away switch him over to another world with no issues. Also, I might be wrong on this, but I did hear that there is basically that even if you run out of time now, your character isn't lost. You can just call him back to the main menu. That is on the main missions, obviously. Whether that is 100% true or, well, correct, I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I took from last week's dev note anyway. Now, let's look at the dynamic dropship landing zones. Since the launch of Icarus, prospects have been limited to 8 unique players who could join and access the whole existence of the session. With decentralization, this limitation is now gone, and we're introducing some new changes that expand not only the number of players who can engage with a prospect, but where they can land. There are 2 different limits that are necessary to understand. The prospect limit is the total number of players who have joined a prospect at any time in its existence, and the session limit is the number of active people playing at any one time in a session. Now, the change to the prospect limit is we now generate a location around the drop zone, which means landing dropships is more dynamic, and it removes the 8-person limit entirely, allowing you to have as many people join in a session over its lifespan. But the session limit, which is a peer-to-peer session, will still have an 8-player session limit, so only 8 players can be active at any one time. However, dedicated servers will be opened up to more than 8 players, but you do risk server degradation as the session count fluctuates, similar to other games in the genre. Which, you know, completely understandable, which is why a lot of the bigger games with bigger server numbers end up having wipes, because obviously things start to go a little bit tits up over time, and they have to wipe it, reset it, and then everything is basically a fresh start. Which I don't think they'll be introducing anything along the lines of wipes here. I don't think that will come anytime at all, but there is the possibility there. Next up is the Dropship Beacon Grenades. With the removed restrictions on prospect limits, it's also opened the door for the newest feature, the Dropship Beacon Grenade. This is a Tier 4 and Workshop version, which when thrown will land a flare, and that flare will fire up and call the dropship to your location. This can either be used for an immediate extraction or left there for use later on. You can use multiple Dropship Beacon Grenades per session, and it will move your dropship to where you threw it. However, these are only one-use items, so do use them carefully. Just like with dropships in current gameplay, be careful where you throw your grenade. Dropships don't take kindly to bases or prospectors that may be in the landing zone. So definitely have some fun with that, building some beastly old base and letting a dropship come in and annihilate the thing. That could actually be really, really fun. Or you have the potential of building a landing pad as such, which could be quite cool. Next up is data decentralization fixes. We have released our first wave of fixes on the decentralization patch, and as we go through the process of tidying up any small errors that have cropped up since the release, they've fixed item duplication bugs that was happening whilst in the station, fixed extraction missions which were broken, exotics were currently no longer able to be placed in your dropship, however the UI had not been updated to reflect this. This has now been corrected, stating the need for an orbital exchange interface. Workshop items will now specify their owner in their tooltip, only for new loadouts brought down, and old ones will not display anything, and weather issues when rejoining open world sessions. And now we have the dedicated servers. Now, for dedicated servers, they do have verified server hosters. So if you do want to check out verified versions, I'm assuming a lot of people that jump into this kind of stuff will more than likely have their own preferred. But I don't really know enough about this kind of thing, so I'm not 100% sure. It could be something in the future. We could set up a little server and build a community together. But let me know what you think about something like that. I did have an idea of doing something similar with Survive the Nights, but I just don't think the traction was really there. But Icarus, I feel like there's a good community here in our Wired community, and you guys do enjoy the game and the content of it. So it could be potentially something that we look at in the future going into next year. Let me know what you think down below anyway. But Dedicated Servers Beta has launched to an excited community of server creators and veterans, and the feedback has been immensely valuable. If you do like to contribute to the feedback, you can join the Discord channel, which is in the link down below in the description. We've also partnered with some established and credible dedicated server providers as their verified partners, which we will list on the in-game menu and work closely with on providing premium dedicated server experience we strive for. The current providers are Nitrado, however you say it, G-Portal, Survival Servers, and Streamline Servers. All four are already offering servers, and once internally approved, we'll move this offering out of beta. Very, very good, right? Very, very good. Now, there are countless, and I mean countless, fixes, way over 100 fixes. So if you do want to look at the fixes and the changelog, then head over to the Steam page, which is in the description down below, and check them out there. For now, though, we are going to wrap that one up. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you do want to support what we do a little bit further, then consider checking out the members. I've been Wired, you've been awesome, thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon with some more Icarus.